Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday Night Live. Welcome to another Tuesday Night Live with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. Tonight we are going to be using very cute, but mostly the Designer Series paper. So I wanted to show you how easy it is to make cards with these sheets of paper. And I've got a 3D project. So these are the patterns that we have. And I'm not sure I even have all the patterns left, but this paper is still available in the last chance list. I love this. This will easily make 3 very cute and quick cards. You just need to throw a sentiment on there and you're good to go. So we've got this. And let's go ahead and see who we have on and get this started. Okay, hello Cynthia. Thank you for joining me. So we've got this sheet and then this sheet and a sweater pattern on the back of that. We've got this cute pattern that you can cut all these little critters out of. Of course, you have to hand cut them. And then we've got this paper. We're going to be making some cards with this. And then we've got this. And we're going to start with this sheet here tonight. We're going to make our 3D project first. So let's go ahead and we'll wait just another minute or two. See if anyone else jumps on. You can hear me okay, Cynthia? I hope. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know you can hear me. And then we'll get started. Oh, thank you. Okay. So we're using the Beary Christmas paper and the Beary Cute punch. And I don't think I'll be showing you some projects with this, but we're not actually going to use this tonight, I don't think. So let's get that going. So for this, I want this bear right over here. And I want to be able to cut him out with the punch. So I'm going to show you how you can do that, especially when you have a very small image that's not quite going to fit in the punch. I'm just going to hand cut that out of there. And then I'm going to take a Post-it note, give myself a little handle here so I can hold on to that. Then I'm going to take my Beary Cute punch. I'm going to line that up and I'm going to punch that out, and you can see how that's just going to fit in there. Give that a punch, and there's our image. This is the easy button to making some quick treat boxes. Okay, so here's our image. Now let's go ahead and bring in our pieces to make our box. Okay, I'm going to start with I almost dropped one of my pieces here. I have taken the Beary Christmas cards and envelopes. You get 20 of these, 10 red, 10 real red, and 10 balmy blue, and then you get matching envelopes for those. Okay, I'm going to use this like cardstock. It's a card base. I think these are 4 1/4 by 6 1/2 inches. So then when you double that, you get a good sized piece of designer series paper in this case. So I've taken and I've cut that in half, and then I cut the one side down to 4 by 5 1/4. So a standard card layer. Okay, so we're going to take this piece and let me get that out of the way. Hello, Tracy. Thank you for joining me. And we're going to grab the Simply Scored tool. And there are 2 ways to make this box. Okay, one of them I didn't care for so much, so we're going to make the one that I like the most and that uses the least amount of cardstock. So here is our template. Let me go ahead and put that down for a minute. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can. Okay. So we're going to put this on the 5 1/4 inch side. And let me bring that down where you can see the measurements. And I'm going to score this at 1 inch, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, and 5. Then I'm going to rotate it clockwise, and I'm going to score it on the 4 inch side at 1 inch, 2 1/2 inches, and 3 1/2 inches. Okay. So if you were making this out of a sheet of cardstock, you would get 4 of these little treat boxes out of one sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish on my score lines. Okay. All right. So this skinny little tab here is our glue tab. And oh my goodness, there they are. I was like, where did I set my scissors? I just had them. Okay, so we're going to take, and on this largest rectangle here, I'm going to angle cut on the skinny tab and angle cut on the skinny tab, so right and left. Then I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to cut off this first little score line and remove that piece of cardstock. Okay, and then I'm going to come up here, and on this score line, I'm going to cut just to the inside of it, and I'm going to remove that. And I need to make sure I remove the whole score line. Okay. Now let's go to the bottom of our box. This is the top, this is the bottom, and we're going to cut up on all these score lines. And as you know, I like to cut these inside the large triangles, or the large rectangles. Okay. And then because these are this wide, we're going to fix that in a minute, but I'm going to do both sides at the same time. So we're going to rotate this to the opposite side. And we need to remove these 2 rectangles. So I'm going to cut up on the second score line from the left, and then I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to cut on the first score line from the right, and I'm going to cut to the outside edge of that and remove that entire score line. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to cut up again, and remember, we're going to do this on the large rectangles for this particular box. I'm going to contradict that in a minute for a different box, but let's do this. Okay, so now we have that. All right, I'm going to bring in my trimmer because these are going to be way too long. So I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to fold down the large rectangle here. I'm going to place this at the top of my scoreboard at the second line here. So hopefully you can see that right here on the second line. So I'll have a ½ inch remaining, and I'm going to trim those off. I'm going to rotate that, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to fold in both score lines, and then I'm going to put that on the ½ inch. I'm going to trim those off. Now, of course, you can do that with your scissor if you choose. Okay, so now this is what we have. Okay, so I'm going to take a corner rounder, and I'm going to round the corners of my top tab here. This is going to be my tuck tab, and I want that to be able to tuck in, so I'm going to round those corners. Any corner rounder that you have will do. Okay, I'm going to trim up, I'm going to fold that back down, and I'm going to trim up these tuck tabs here. Because if I don't, I won't be able to get this piece to tuck down inside. The cardstock will be in the way. I don't want to get too crazy, because if I take off too much, then it won't stay closed. So just a little angle cut to the right and the left. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. 2 small tabs. These are going to fold inside the bottom of the box, and it just makes for a neater finish. And I'm making sure that I'm removing those score lines. Okay. So now we need to put a finger tab here. And where? I'm going to use a 3/4 inch punch. And you'll probably think this is only 1.5 inches wide, so 3/4 is pretty large on this. I'm just going to eyeball the center of that. Okay, so I've got that. And then we're going to go ahead and fold this box up and put it together. So I'm going to use a little tear and tape. And just tear that off. So on the tiny tab here on the outside, then I'm going to turn it to the inside. And on the bottom tab that has this top piece, I'm going to put a little tear and tape right at the bottom. Okay. And there we have our adhesive for that. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my backing paper here. Fold up anything that's hanging over the edges. Fold it in on itself. And then you're going to fold on the second score line from the left and the first score line from the right. Lay that flat and give it a press. Okay. Now I like to take and fold these in at this point so that when I do the bottom, I have a nice flat surface to work with. Okay. So now I'm going to remove my backing paper here. And then I like to take just a little bit of liquid adhesive, Tombow liquid glue, and put that on those little tabs there. You don't need a lot. And then I'm going to fold those in, fold the back. And the back is the one with the little notch. And then I'm going to square everything up and give that a good press. Now I can open this up and get my bone folder in there and burnish that down. Okay, now what does this box fit? This box fits quite a bit actually. I've got these Andes Peppermint Crunch Thins, much like the regular Andes Thins that come in the green package. And this will hold 5 of them, okay? It also holds, let's see. Oh, this is the Andes. I have several of these boxes and I'll show you them in a minute. 2 Dove Promises. We've got 3 Rolos and 2 Hershey's Nuggets. Okay, and I'll show you how I decorated all these boxes. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this box off. We're going to bring in that piece of the other side of that card, and we're going to take the modern label punch, and I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to punch 2 of those. Okay, so I've got 2 of those. Now, if you don't like the color here, take your real red Stampin' Up marker. Okay, these come in a pack of 10 in a collection. I'm going to take the brush tip. I'm just going to run that along the edge of my label here, like so, just to take the white off of there. You can do this with any of your DSPs so that you don't have that white edge. Just take the coordinating color. Okay, so we've got that. All right, so let's go ahead and take our bear that we have here. Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and put this on. So we're going to take some liquid glue and decide which one we want to be the front and which one we want the back. Nor if you're just using plain cardstock, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue, making sure that I don't get my glue in that finger notch on the back of this. Okay. And then I'm going to set this down flat on my desk. Center that up. With liquid glue, I can move it a little bit if I don't get it just perfect. Okay, so I've got that. Give that a good press. Then I'm going to turn it over to the front here. Of course, you can do this in any order, front or back. Some more liquid glue. I'm going to set this down, and then when I do this, I'm going to take my fingers like this and make sure that those are even. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and press that down. I'm going to use a clear block to make sure that adheres. And I'm going to take my little bear here. I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to take one of these little sections right here, cut that off, stick that down in this leg so this leg does not flop around and get all bent up. Okay, and then we're going to add this to our little box, like so. All right, we're almost done. Now, I've taken one of the little tags from the mini pocket dies. These are in the online exclusive section of the store. So, mini pocket dies, and I'm going to use this little die right here. I'm going to cut out a piece of basic white, and I'm going to get my silicone mat. I'm going to put this on here, and then I'm going to take a blending brush, and this brush I've used with Old Olive already, and I have enough ink on here. I'm just going to take that and give it a press, give it a good brushing there, and color my tag. And then from Yeti to Party, which this is in the clearance rack, I'm using the Holiday Hugs out of this stamp set. You can get both of these, the stamps and the dies, on the clearance rack for a cheap price. So if you're interested in that, I love this stamp set. I use it a lot. And then I'm going to get some Mossy Meadow ink. And I'm going to stamp up the Holiday Hugs. Didn't look like it was quite inked up the way I wanted it. I'm going to try to stamp more to the back than the front of this tag. There we go. Because it's photopolymer, I can do that before or after I've cut the tag. But if you have a hard time with that, you could easily stamp your Holiday Hugs and then cut your tag. So we're going to add this to our box. And we're going to take a little, actually, I don't know if I can do that. So I'm going to take some remnants here of my minis. I'm going to put that right down here. And then we're going to add this right here, like so. And then we'll grab some of the white baker's twine, which comes in the Essentials pack. And we're going to tie us a little bow here. And it would be better if I did it the right way here. Like this, to get my baker's twine on my nails correctly. Of course, if you don't have one of these, you can just tie yourself a nice little bow. I have a difficult time tying bows with the baker's twine. And I just like the way they look better on the bow jig. Okay, so we've got that. Then we're just going to take a glue dot. And I'm going to stick my glue dot right on, or stick my bow right on my glue dot, right in the center of the glue dot. Then I like to take my tweezers and pinch that glue dot together so that it's not sticking out from the bow. And I'm going to bring this over, just put it right down there. And there is our quick and easy treat box. Okay, now this opens this way. I made one that opens sideways, and I'll show that to you here. And if you like this one better, I didn't care for the way I just didn't care for the look of it this way. It didn't have a nice clean top for me. But I did make two, so if you didn't want somebody to have to dig in there to get the flap open, you could make one like this. And with this one, I took the tree from Beary Cute. It's a 2-step stamp right here. And I stamped that out, and then you have to hand cut. I stamped the little baby polar bear, and you have to fussy cut this one too. And then these little ornaments are from the Merriest Tree dies. or the Merriest Trees bundle. Okay, so there is a quick and easy, cute little treat box. And like I said, this one I've got 2 Hershey's Nuggets in. Let me show you the template for this one. You cut it, well, you know what, this one's a little tricky on the cut, so let me show you how that works. I think I can still do it with one of these cards, and then I will decorate it later. So I'll take one of these cards, and for this I need 5 1/4 by 5 inches. So I would end up, actually with the cards you can't do that because you would end up with a score where you don't want it. Okay, because this is 4 1/4. Okay, so you'd have to use regular cardstock. So let's grab a piece of regular cardstock really quickly. I'm not going to make the whole box. I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock and I'll show you how I cut that. That'll work. Because this one is just a little bit different. So 5 1/4 by 5. So I want this to be 5 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to bring in our Simply Scored tool. And on the 5 1/4 inch side, we're going to score this at the same that we did before. So 1, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, and 5. Okay, I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to score on the 5 inch side at 1 1/2, 3, and 4 1/2. Okay, now this one gets a little tricky in the cutting, simply because I always tell you guys to cut on the large rectangles, and this time we are not doing that because we need the orientation to be different. So we're going to do it just a little bit differently. Again, the skinny little tab here is our glue tab. So we're going to snip on either side of the score lines on the inside at an angle. And then we're going to cut out the score line top and bottom. Okay. Then instead of cutting on the inside of the large rectangles here, we're going to cut on the inside of the small rectangles. Okay, so we're going to cut to the left of the first score line here, to the right of the second score line. And then here, we're going to cut this tab off. So we're going to go ahead and cut to the right of that score line. We're going to remove this section. Okay, so this is what we have. All right, then we're going to go to the bottom and we're going to repeat that, but we're not going to cut this off, but we are going to cut to the right of the first score line, to the left of the second score line from the right, to the right of the last score line. Okay, now this is the bottom of our box and there's no way we can fold these large triangles in. So again, we're going to trim these. So this time I'm going to fold up the small tabs. And again, I'm going to cut these at 1/2 inch. So second mark here and cut. Okay, again, I'm going to fold in the small and I'm going to cut these at 1/2 inch. Okay, 1/2 inch there. and cut those off. And this is what I'm left with. Okay, now I didn't burnish that and I need to. All right, so again, we're going to take a corner rounder to the top of this skinny little piece, because this is our tuck tab. All right, and if you get this like I just did, just take your paper snips and cut that straight across. No worries. All right, now we need to angle cut these large rectangles on both the top and the bottom. You want to take less off of the top than you do the bottom. Okay. That one might give me a little bit of a fit getting the tuck tab in. I missed just a little bit of the corner here, and that's going to give me a problem. So let's clean that up. All right, and then again, we're going to take our tear and tape along the edge here on the small long tab here at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to fold in any excess there of my adhesive, just fold it back on itself. Fold on the second score line from the left, the first score line from the right, press that down, burnish it. Now we're going to have these come together, and you can see how if you don't cut those down to a 1/2 inch, it just doesn't work. Okay, so now we've got, whoops, I forgot to do this. Let's see if we can still do it. Oh, I need the small 1/2 inch punch. Hang on, let me grab that. A 3/4 inch punch will not work on this piece. It's just too small. Let's see if we can get that in there. I should have done that first. Oops. Oh, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work. Shoo! Don't forget to do that, you guys. It's kind of hard afterward. Okay, again, I'm going to remove my tear and tape here. Tuck that in. Put a little bit of liquid glue here and here. Fold in the sides, fold the back, fold the front, and there's our side opening box. Okay, and you would just put your modern label punch pieces on the front there, and then you would have a side open box. Okay, so here are those templates for however you would like to make that box, whether you want it to side open or back open. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Here are some of the boxes that I've made using these templates. And this is the only one I use the stamp set with. The rest of these are all done with the designer series paper. Okay, so I hope you like that project. They're very quick, very easy, and they take very little supplies. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Laura. All right, so let's move on to the cards. See, look at that. We made 2 boxes in 34 minutes. We're doing great. All right. So let's move these out of the way. And now I've got some very quick and easy cards. Okay. So here I've got one of those very cute cards and envelopes. I've got the blue. I've taken a piece of the Designer Series paper. These, as I said, are 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. So I cut this down to 4 by 6 1/4. Right? Is that right? No, 4 by 6, because these are 6 1/4, not 6 1/2. 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I cut this to 4 by 6. Let's cut that right out of the paper. Okay. So let's go ahead and put that down. On the card. Just in case you need some quick and easy cards, this is the ticket. Okay. Now, got a piece of balmy blue cardstock. Okay. Let's see. I've already fussy cut, so you don't have to watch me. One of the bears from that paper. Okay. Then we're going to take this piece of balmy blue. Oh, nope, this one fits the other one. Okay, that's the other card. That's not going to work. Okay, so we're going to take this. We're going to put this across here, like so. And I want to cover up this part of the bear, so I'm just going to take this piece. Actually, I'm going to do this like this. And this piece is 1 inch. And I'm going to place this about where I think I want it. Okay, I need to stamp Merry Christmas on this, so I'm going to take this one I'm going to use Night of Navy. I'll take the Night of Navy ink and the Merry Christmas. I'm going to ink that up. This Merry Christmas comes from the Very Cute stamp set. And I'm going to put this over here to the edge and in the center. Stamp that down and hold it for a second and let that ink transfer. Okay. And then I'm going to add some glue. Here, I'm going to kind of mark this with my nail or with my thing so I know where to stop my adhesive. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on here. And then eyeball this. Where I want this, and then I'm going to move this down accordingly. So I'm trying to get the Merry Christmas at the back of the bear, stay in the lines or within the boundaries of the card. And I'm going edge to edge of the card, not the Designer Series paper here. And if you get, like I have, a little lip here from where I cut this paper, I'm just going to take my bone folder across that and get rid of that. And then I'm going to take my scissors here and turn that over. And I'm just going to snip that off, just like that. To even that up. Then we're going to take this bear and some Stampin' Dimensionals here. And then we'll find some embellishments that we like. And we'll add these, and this card will be finished. Just that quick. Okay, there we go. I'm going to take another bear from this set. And I'm going to take him and a little bit of liquid glue. This is a bear this bear actually is punched with that very cute punch. And now I've got a bear on the inside, a bear on the outside. Let's put a little bit of bling on there. Maybe some of these little snowflakes. These are from the online exclusives. Let's see. Let's take some of the white ones. Put one there. There's two different sizes here, so let's go 1, 2, and let's see. 1, 2, and let's just put this one right there. 3. All right. So there we go. That was a very quick card, right? And we have a matching envelope already prepared for us. Super simple, quick, and easy. All right, so we've got that. Excuse me. And then I thought, oh, let's do one more quick one. And let's use the modern label punch for that. So for this one, I'm actually taking my card and I've stamped the sentiment, but I didn't like how dark it was. So I'm going to put this into my Stamparatus. Okay, and I'm going to ink this up in Misty Moonlight. Christmas is Better Together is also in that same very cute stamp set. Put that down. Make sure that stays where it belongs. Put that over the top. Give that a good press. And there we have our sentiment. So let's stick this in here and keep that from getting all geeky. And now I'm going to take a piece of the Designer Series paper and I'm going to put this across the card here like so. And again, I'm going to kind of measure that and put a little mark here so I don't go past that with my adhesive. Okay, put that down. All right. Line that up with the side, make sure I've got that how I want it. And actually that, I don't want you to stick yet. I want to go about halfway between the sentiment and the card here. That's my thought here. Okay, and again, just going to trim this off with my snips. And then I've taken a piece of balmy blue cardstock and I punched out one of those modern label punches. I'm going to put my bear on here, like so. So let's go ahead and put our bear down flat. like that. Our bear and our bunny. I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're going to put this on here, like so. Again, let's grab some embellishments. Let's go for something different this time. Let's see. Anybody got any ideas? Let's go with the 3 gems tinsel pack here. Let's take these blue ones, which are actually, yep, they're Misty Moonlight, so that's perfect. And let's take a large one, and let's put this, let's go 1 large, 1 small, and there you have it. Okay. All right, so another very quick card. For the inside of this one, let's go ahead and we'll pull us out one of these little critters here. And we'll quickly fussy cut one of these. Let's take a deer. And for these, when I fussy cut, I like to rough cut them out. And then I like to think about where I want to end. And I don't want to end here, and I don't want to end here. So I'm going to start here. It'll just make it easier for me to fussy cut the smaller areas if I'm not trying to do it after I've cut everything. So you always want to think about that when you're fussy cutting. Rotate your paper. Just the right hand or your dominant hand opens and closes the scissors. The non-dominant hand does the driving. Rotates the cardstock or paper. You get much better results when you do it that way. I've kind of got a little leg here in the way, so let's lift that up just a titch. Rotate that around. These really don't take that long to fussy cut, and they aren't that difficult, so just leave a little bit of a border. Rotate, rotate. Look and see if we have any questions. Thanks, Tracy. This is what I call the easy button. And those cards and envelopes make it so easy, especially when you have the coordinating designer series paper. Okay, so now we're just going to take this, put a little bit of liquid glue on here. and add that to the inside of our card. And there we have it. And then you can find whatever sentiment you like and put in there. I will probably go for, let me grab the very best occasions here. This is one of my favorite sets because it has the May Your Days Be Happy, Your Heart Be Light, Your Christmas Merry, and the New Year Bright. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's get, is it this one? Yep, right there. Okay, so we'll slap this on a block. I like to lay mine so that it looks like it's straight. And then I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper and make sure this is going to stamp how I think it should. And I'm going to use the same Misty Moonlight. And let's put this down on our scrap paper. That looks pretty good. And there we have it. A very quick and cute card with very little supplies. Now, what did I do with that? I always like to go back and smooth out my score marks. Okay, so matching card and envelope. And matching card and envelope. Two quick and cute cards. And then we've got our box. And we can go ahead and decorate this one real quick if you guys want to stick around. Let's grab some balmy blue cardstock. Scrap here. Got some scrap right there. Take our modern label punch. Means we have time left. We might just as well. Okay. Get some balmy blue. And I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to get that piece that I cut off here. And I'm going to cut one of these. Okay. And with this one, I'm going to take my Night of Navy marker. Stampin' right. And I'm just going to run this along the edge. Get rid of any white that was left from the punch. And notice how I'm using the side. Okay, I've got that. And then we'll add this. Excuse me. To our modern label punch, or modern oval punch. Just line those up. Once I get them lined, I like to hold on to them and give them a burnish. Okay. Put this on the side of our box. I always like to put my Tombow on the side of or on the front and back of the box, not on the label itself. That way this will hang off, and that way I know I'm getting not getting glue where I don't want it. Okay, so we've got that. And we'll turn that over. Glue. Add this to the back. Line those edges up with our finger. That way we know they're the same width. Okay. All right, now let's find us a bear for this one. Or maybe we'll put, what do you think? What do you like? Shall we pull a polar bear? I really like these polar bears. What about, let's see. Let's take this one right here. Quick and easy. Thanks, Jennifer. So appreciate that. Again, I'm going to look to see where I want to end this before I start cutting. Because the more I have to hang on to at the end, the better off I am. Rotate that in. I'm going to hope this fits that box and isn't way too big. So I didn't measure it. If you need just a quick little neighbor gift, these are great. And you can do this with a lot of our designer series papers. Just take and cut. We have a lot of these where we can cut things out of them. Punch, die cut. And then you're not spending a bunch of time coloring. Okay, almost done here. I'm going to cut that excess off because it'll be easier for me to get in here. Okay, now that really only took a minute or two, didn't it? Got that. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pop this bear right up on there. Okay, let's see. Put one here. And we can put one down here. And here. And that should be good. Okay, now we have our side opening box. I should have turned that around, but it's okay. My bear should be facing the other direction, but it'll work. It's good. Now, if you get one of these that doesn't want to necessarily stay in, this one's doing okay, but if you have one that you have trouble with, take your paper snips and right on the score line there, just snip a tiny little bit on each side. Okay, and bend that just a tiny bit. And then stick it in there and it'll lock in tight. Okay? So there you have it. These are our projects tonight. I hope you enjoyed those. All right, everybody. I will be back next week at the same time, 7 p.m. on Tuesday night with some more projects. Thank you. Oh, what fits in the box, Jennifer? We have 3 Rolos will fit in the box. 2 Hershey's, excuse me, 2 Hershey's Nuggets. 5 of the Andes peppermint crunch thins. In fact, let's go ahead and put those in this little box right here. And what else did I say? Of course, you can fit Hershey's Kisses in here. I don't know how many because I didn't try that. But Hershey's Kisses will fit. 5 of those Andes mints. Okay, wow. That one's not wanting to fit right for some reason. There we go. There we go. Got them. Okay. So we've got that. What else did I put? Let's look because I can't remember. Those are mints. Rolos, 3. And what else did I try? Dove promises. You can get 2 dove promises in there. Okay, so you can, any small candies really. You could fit the little Werther's candies in there too. Anyway, there we go. I hope you enjoyed those tonight. And thank you for joining me. Good night, everybody. Thanks for all the hearts and the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Good night.